Hey everybody, good morning. Derek here from Bomb Socks with another round of Bomb Bites, where we feast upon the words of Christ and we do it one bite at a time. So this whole week is section 88 of the Doctrine and Covenants, and it is massive. You start scrolling through that thing, it is pretty impressive. But one thing to remember, you know what comes before section 88? That's 87. I know, you're like, Derek, you're brilliant. I know, it's what I do. So I want to throw some context in here, keeping in mind that Joseph had just given this revelation about war. He talked about the civil wars. It was a precursor to the Civil War, which is going to happen in 30 years. In fact, it was interesting. This revelation actually, the section 87 actually became a missionary tract that was taken out. In fact, Orson Pratt, first of all, check out Orson Pratt. You know you're loving that beard, right? Well, here is a younger Orson Pratt. So younger Orson Pratt, he took this out as a missionary. And there's a New Era article. It's kind of an obscure one back in 1989. It's called Prophecy in His Pocket. And one of the things it says is, after the Civil War, Elder Pratt said, this is another testimony that Joseph Smith was a prophet of the Most High God. This is a testimony. Orson's like, see, I told you, Joseph's a prophet. Perhaps, and this is in this article, it says, perhaps some of those who once scoffed when youthful missionary Orson Pratt pulled the prophecy from his pocket and read it, now had cause to wonder, to worry, and to wish that they had listened more closely to what the rest of the prophecy had said. And what's interesting is you've got that prophecy about war and what it is, and we didn't talk about this last week, but the rest of that prophecy, you remember we talked about this idea of standing holy places. It says, wherefore, which means as a result of which, stand in holy places and be not moved, right? So that kind of puts that into perspective. So they were all kind of freaking out a little bit about war, which is interesting because section 88 of the Doctrine and Covenants is known as the olive leaf. Okay. Now the olive leaf is it's symbolic. It's Greek in nature. It goes all the way back to old Greek mythology, and it's about peace and it is about friendship. In fact, there's a cool little reference if you want to put a cross reference by the phrase olive leaf. I've done this in my digital scriptures. So I've connected this to Genesis chapter 8 verse 11, where it says olive leaf, and the dove came in to him in the evening. This is Noah. And lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. So it comes in, it's like, it's okay, the flood is over. You can come out now, right? So section 88 kind of becomes that for the saints. It's something that is designed to give peace. It is designed to give friendship. In fact, you just look at the first two verses, keeping in mind, war is on the people's minds. They're like, oh no, is war coming? Verse 1, verily, thus saith the Lord unto you who have assembled yourselves together to receive his will concerning you. Behold, this is pleasing unto your Lord, and the angels rejoice over you. The alms of your prayers have come up into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, and are recorded in the book of names of the sanctified, even them of the celestial world. Now, let me focus for a minute on that phrase, Lord of Sabaoth. Sometimes we read that, and we read it as Lord of Sabbath. Like, nah, it's not Sabbath, it's Sabaoth. In fact, it's also mentioned, ironically, at the end of section 87. So it's mentioned twice here in just a few verses. But Sabaoth means Lord of hosts. Now, you're probably thinking, that's great. Hosts of what? Well, what it means is hosts of the armies of Israel. In fact, this picture right here, I was searching through Lord of Sabaoth, and this picture popped up, which is pretty crazy. Kind of freaky looking also. You see some of these, guys there, all these white horses and everything. I mean, it's kind of cool, but this is a Lord that is going to deliver you. Now, as I was looking also at the Lord of Sabaoth, this picture came up as well, which I really like this one. So keeping in mind that the Lord of hosts is going to help you, he has got your back during times of personal war and struggle. When your spirit wants to secede from the Union, like it talked about with South Carolina there in section 87, this is one of those things where it's going to provide for you peace and comfort. And you can even have a little conversation with your family. When has that knowledge of the Lord of the Sabaoth, when is it giving you courage? And when is it giving you peace? Because that's what this section is all about, is providing peace. So for the next 4 days as we're doing this, we're going to give you some messages designed to be able to give you peace in times of war, whether that be global, local, or personal. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And thanks for sharing. Godspeed. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.